Hello, and welcome to CHUB Cast, where we review 2 albums an episode spanning across some multitude of genres. With your hosts,
my name is Zach Smith, and I'm the bassist.
And I'm Ben, and I'm the vocalist.
The one who plays the guitar is me, Greg.
I'm Kyle, and I hit stuff with sticks.
All the way from Brighton, UK, combined, we make up the band CHUB. I hope you enjoy the podcast.
Hello and welcome to a very special episode of CHUB Cast, CHUB Cast episode 14. Today we are sponsored by Secret Lab Chairs, a amazing chair that you sit on with your arse. Other than that,
we don't know anything about the lab. It is a secret.
Yeah. I was going to say a Labrador joke there, but I literally couldn't think of anything. Oh dear.
The chair's made of dogs.
Well, I just decided to start the episode right now. No one's ready, but let's just fucking go. This week we are... Oh, obviously, I'm just saying. We got our mate Tim here again. Hello, Tim. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, yeah. Just been listening to some album.
Oh, yeah. So again. Have I. Very late. I listened to 12-Foot Ninja and Ghostemane within 2 hours before recording this right now. So I was not prepared this week.
A lot of time to think about it then.
Yeah. It's definitely sunk in.
Formulate those opinions, yeah.
But socials are below in the description. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. Subscribe, like, follow, and we will jump into it. We didn't actually discuss which one we were going to talk about, so let's talk about it in the order that I've got it on my notes. Idols first.
Okay. Woo! Same one's me.
Alright.
Hooray!
Wait, what a coincidence! You're wearing the shirt. How did that happen?
Oh my god!
Wow! Oh my god! Do you love Seldy?
It's probably back.
I thought Idles was some sort of Spanish band.
Oh, fuck.
Idles.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's why
Idles?
I dressed up.
No
for
hablo Idles.
Greg, I think you listened to the wrong band.
Fuck.
Greg's like, I thought it was a bit of a weird choice from you, Ben.
Yeah, this album just needs a banging like.
Did you not hear the outro? It had like a 10-minute interlude of just Mexican like.
Yeah, and halfway through there was like a weird meditation segment.
So this is Ultramono. It was the third studio album by Idols. They're just an English rock band. A lot of people call them punk. A lot of people call them post-punk. They don't like being called anything. They just like being called musicians. So they don't really.
If you called them idols, would they get annoyed?
No, they'd be like, "Oh, that's my band name." Probably.
Also, they do like being called something. Don't lie, please.
They don't like labels.
They cut them off when they buy a new T-shirt.
They're like,
did you guys see the quote on Wikipedia where it was like the singer said, "For the last time, we're not a fucking punk band."
Then stop writing.
You don't get to
songs.
make that decision.
Even though they clearly are.
Yeah, I think they're definitely memeing, like, because in interviews and stuff they'll literally just be like, guys, we're not a punk band, and then they'll look at each other and like smile and laugh and shit. So it's just like it's a bit tongue in cheek because obviously they know what they're doing. This is their third studio album after Joy as an Act of Resistance. It sort of relies on really sort of like heavy sort of themes with a light undertone. So obviously a lot of stuff about like toxic masculinity and like climate and a lot of class stuff, a lot of class stuff. But generally has kind of a like fast punky kind of vibe to it. Yeah, this is a great album. What do you guys think?
Who?
Choose someone.
I'll choose Tim because he's the person that is.
Yeah, Tim. Throw him in the deep end again. Are your notes loaded this time?
They are. Whether or not they stay loaded is another matter. So I guess we'll find out. Yeah, so listening to the start of this, obviously it starts with War, which is like lots of drums and just generally, I don't know, I suppose like a driving sort of introduction to the album. It's sort of I just kind of thought of it as like with like a drumming of sort of like a setting the rhythm for the rest of the album, almost. Like they're kind of like a band that wants to be like playing in the street. I feel like their kind of style. So I can imagine like the drumming is sort of like, you know, when you get like parades through town or something, or like, because they're very political, it's probably more like protest drumming and whatever else. So I thought that was a pretty good way to start with that sort of setting out your stall, as it were. But the main thing with them though, what's with his voice? What's going on there? I saw an interview with him. He doesn't really sound like that, does he? I mean, it's not quite as bad as Freddie Mercury in terms of like the enunciation and everything else, but it's definitely put on. And it kind of is one of those things. As I was listening to it, I was like, is he putting this on? Is he trying to like butcher as many words as possible?
Yeah, like, what band does that? I can't think of any band that fakes their accent.
I have no idea what you're talking
do
about
such
yet.
a thing?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. Does he put an accent on? I never actually looked at any of the interviews or anything.
Well, they're from Bristol, right?
From Bristol.
So have you ever heard somebody from? You ever heard someone
So
from
he's got like
Bristol
a
speak?
my lover.
Well, they don't sound very punk.
Yeah.
Well,
It's kind of
it's
just
My
not
like,
lover,
Mark
we're
Jacobs'
not a
voice.
punk band, me lover.
But yeah, I mean, the voice thing is kind of annoying, especially when they repeat lines over and over again.
Yeah.
Like it was like, say "I am I" in one of the songs or something, just like over and over and over. And Anxiety, that song didn't give me anxiety. It just incredibly annoying. Is all I've written down here. It's just 3 words of a sentence: anxiety, incredibly annoying, which I suppose is probably what it is like for a lot of people.
I mean, it is. Anxiety is
It's
really
very
annoying.
annoying.
There you go.
You just wish it'd end and whatever. I don't know if that's what they meant by doing that though.
I genuinely think that
might
is what they were doing with that song. It was like a sound art project.
Yeah.
They were trying to create sonic anxiety, and they managed
Yeah.
it.
You know, especially.
Well, it's like
I mean, towards the end, they're literally going like they are literally trying to give people anxiety.
Yeah, that one was definitely a meme. That song.
yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Can you clarify though, Tim? Do you just not like his singing voice in general, or do you not like the fact that he sounds so far removed from what he actually sounds like?
I think that the point is like I wouldn't mind it if either that was his voice and he was just singing it, or if it was putting on a voice that sounds good. Like if it was one or the other of those things, I think I could live with it. Like, because if it's just somebody's voice, you know, that's just what it is, and they're just being authentic to themselves, which is fine. If they're putting on a voice, I'd pick like one that sounds nicer, probably. But then it's punk, so it's probably
I was
designed to
gonna
be
say.
horrible.
I feel like, it's not very punk to have a guy with a lovely voice.
Yeah, no, I do get that, but it doesn't change it.
What are
being
you
annoying.
saying? The Clash had a lovely singer.
Yeah, but I feel like the Clash are like fringes of punk. Like, I don't think many people really consider.
Yeah.
When you think of punk,
Ben
you don't
excluded,
think
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben has a lovely voice.
I've
Thanks,
not
guys.
heard any of your songs yet. Just bits and pieces. There's a long way to go. There's still time to change.
Yeah, we should re-record everything.
Yeah, just sing Wasters in a very.
Yeah, because if I don't like it, then that's it. You have to disband. That's
Oh
it.
no.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's
Tim,
true.
you need
If one
to write
person,
us
if
a
one person
review.
doesn't like it, it's game over. No, I
Wield the
mean,
ultimate pen of the critic.
I think that the first half of this album was very much that sort of, you've got all your annoying interlude voice bits and all that kind of stuff, which was kind of annoying. But then it was about halfway through, I think it is, Model Village. then I could sort of get into it a bit more. You can hear what's going on. The lyrics seem to make a little bit more sense just from listening. Like obviously, I've gone back and I've read them, and they do obviously make sense. He's not just being complete gibberish, but still, like they're a lot more discernible later on. You can be like, oh, okay, I can tell what he's talking about here. I get the vibe now.
I completely agree with you though. Model Village is where the album picked up for me. It's because he actually started singing in that song, and I really liked that song because it had like, you know, some melody and stuff.
Well, yeah, I also like the general vibe of it, you know, because obviously with us like coming from a kind of town sort of thing, you've seen these kind of people, the people he's talking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, more than once.
There's a few model villages around Brighton area.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All you have to do is drive 15 minutes out of Eastbourne and you're in like fucking Friston. There you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of made a lot more sense, I think, from there on out. The Lover I quite liked as a song. That one was pretty good. But I think in general, like, with a lot of these sort of things, it's, do they fit their style? Like, have they achieved what they were going for? That's like, half of my marks are based upon whether a band is doing what they set out to deliver at the start of the album. And it's when bands kind of, they half-heartedly, they have like a few songs that follow that, and then the other half of the songs are just almost filler. They're just like, I'll just throw anything in there just to make it up to our, what was it, 12 or whatever it is. But they didn't seem to do that. There was generally songs that they all wanted to be on the album, which I think definitely helps the album because it makes it more
cohesive.
Yeah, it's more of like these songs are what we're giving you today because that's the ones that are ready and they all fit together. Not we needed an album. Here's a few songs we liked, and here's a few that we cared less about. You can tell the other ones they did care for them, even if I don't like them.
Yeah, you can definitely tell when a band's just slapped together an album because the record label was like breathing down their neck.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't feel like that's an issue for this band though. They from the lyrics and the way they've done the albums and everything else, it seems like they are in control of their own destiny in terms of what they write about and how they write it. Which just, you know,
that's because Partisan Records. Sorry to interject, but they're like a really, really good record label. They've got bands like Fontaines DC and like loads of other kind of like more like punkier kind of like anti-establishment kind of bands because they're just sort of like they look after the little guy, you know. So
Well, there's our sponsor again, Secret Lab. Thanks for Secret Lab for sponsoring.
Undercover Labradors are also available.
We've hit the big leagues now, boys.
Yeah. Greg, what are you saying?
Red Lab.
What am I saying? I want to say, first of all, the album art for this album is fantastic. I don't know if you guys noticed it.
Is it just a ball going
I'm
into
looking
his
at
face?
it at the moment.
That is a brilliant image. I think I agree to an extent with what's it said, like the guy's voice is a little bit distracting. I want to make a big comparison to Fontaines DC because I feel very similarly about this to the way that I did about that, where it's like the vocals and the focus on not just the lyrics but the like weird cadences of how he sings and the repeating certain words and the like almost sound arty aspects of it, like when they're, you know, he's going like anxiety for like a straight minute. That did actually distract me. I got bored of that quite quickly. But this album was a lot more musically interesting than that Fontaines DC album, so I've got to add that as well. Like there was a lot to interest me in the riffs, and there was at least as much engaging music as there was boring vocal wankery. So definitely I enjoyed it more.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Greg, there. And Tim. In fact, both of you, like, the music behind the guy's fucking dribbling is really fucking awesome. I think that and I could this is such a you band. This is such a Ben band, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're listening to it, you just think of Ben. Because it's like got gothy guitar riffs as well. There's indie riffs in there as well. This is like everything Ben likes just combined into one, and I can definitely see why Idol's one of his favourite bands. Fontaine's DC though came to my mind as well, and exactly the same. Like, I really wish the way I looked at it is if they got the singer from The Hell and put him in Idols, I probably would like Idols. I don't know. I feel like the guy from The Hell has way more like oomph to his voice than the guy from this guy. And I guess I just don't really like post punk. I know they say they're not punk, but they are. And it's just his singing, but like the music behind his singing is really good. It's really fucking good.
Yeah,
it's really interesting that you guys
it's
said
definitely
that. I never even considered that. Like, I never even thought the fact of like, oh, his singing is anything unusual.
Really?
Like,
Really?
yeah. I
That
mean,
was like the standout thing of the album to me was like, this is weird singing.
Really?
I feel like
I literally never thought of it.
Focus. What was your main takeaway from the album then, Go?
For me, well, obviously I've heard Idols so many fucking times before because I live with Ben. So obviously I've heard it. And we listened to this album the day it came out because Ben got the physical copy because he managed to get tickets for the Concord gig. I didn't manage to get them in time.
Which is definitely going to happen.
Yep.
Yeah, totally gonna happen. Just maybe not for the next 2 years. I really like these guys. I don't know, like the first song of theirs I ever heard was "Never Fight a Man with a Perm," and like it's a weird song, and I feel like half of the quality of this band is that they're not afraid to do silly little quirky things. You know, some of their lyrics literally make like no fucking sense. Like Mr. Motivator, the like big build up is him going, "You're Joe Cal fucking Zaggy," and I'm just like, who the fuck is Joe Cal Zaggy? Like, I don't know. Like,
what was he actually saying then? Because I didn't understand that at all.
You are Joe Cal fucking Zaggy, who is a boxer. It's him being a motivator.
So,
I did say to Ben the first time I heard it, I thought he was saying, "You're a joke, how fucking saggy."
That's really motivating, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah.
Look at you, you disgust me.
Fucking saggy.
You're so saggy. You fucking
saggy
joke.
I mean, the carrot and the stick both have their place.
Yeah. my favorite lyric was also from Mr. Motivator. At one point he says, "Like Conor McGregor with a samurai sword on rollerblades." And I don't know why.
How do you like them cliche?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
No, yeah. I feel like that kind of is part of the charm of this band, though. Is like you can tell that they're very serious about what they're talking about, and the concept, the actual stuff that they're discussing is really important. But they're not super serious about it all the time. Like, I mean, yeah, they've got a song about anxiety, and the whole song is talking about like shit going on in the world at the moment that gives people reason to have anxiety. But then they do what you said and go and like just make like fucking weird noises and it literally cause anxiety. Like, you know, and if you watch any of their live shows, I've seen their Tiny Desk performance that they did. And yeah, they fuck about on that just as much. Like they're getting like people who work at the Tiny Desk studio to come in and like shake maracas and shit, and like hit like vintage and stuff. Like they definitely don't take themselves too seriously. But I feel like as to be successful as a punk band or as like any band that's trying to really push a message these days, you've either got to go 100% dead serious all the time, like Architects or something, or you've got to like sprinkle a little bit of fun in there. And I feel like these days, I feel like if a punk band tried to be like genuinely just serious all the time, they'd probably come across as a bit like pretentious.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I said something similar with the another. It might have been the Fontaine's DC episode. Modern punk is just silly, because the world is too serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, the most punk thing to do is the most punk thing to do is not get mad about all this shit happening.
Yeah, and have
You're
a
still
laugh.
discussing all this shit happening, but you're making a mockery of it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I just find it quite funny how the punk thing has gone from being like a, down with society, it's all terrible, other people like telling me what to do and I'm not going to listen to you, and now it's kind of gone to a, hey guys, you should listen to us, you should try and be nice to one another.
Literally.
It's like,
There's a song called Kill Them With Kindness on this album, isn't there?
That's now like the way of
basically the
punk
message
is to
with
be
kindness.
nice to people.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Which I
Kill them
suppose is
with
why they find it
kindness.
funny, because it is kind of funny.
It's because that is the most punk thing to do nowadays, is to love and care for one another, because our government won't do it.
I think that's
We
Kill Them
prefer
With
to
Kindness song had like a fucking piano bit in it, didn't it?
In the beginning, yeah. And then it was just like dun, 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 like,
Yeah.
like stomps into it.
I feel that's like going back to what I said earlier about how like the actual music behind the guys singing is really varied. For a punk band, like you wouldn't see this variety in like Fontaines DC, or even going back all the way to like the 70s with like the Ramones or Sex Pistols and stuff. Like that was pretty.
I think that's what
No, go on,
I
Ben.
was gonna say. I think that's what makes them like, I guess them and like loads of others like Shame and all these other new wave punk bands coming out at the moment that like they're considered post punk, where they're kind of like, it's after that, but it's such a huge genre. I mean, like Interpol fit into them like that genre, but they're nothing like these guys at all.
Yeah.
So it's super. Again, I guess that's why they go do the whole like, we don't like genres kind of thing, because it's kind of hard to define
Genres
sometimes.
does suck. Like, look at thrash metal. You can't say that Municipal Waste songs sound like fucking South of Heaven, or even like loads of Metallica songs in like the Black Album, going all the way to Megadeth, which is like quite like clean thrash. It's very like, high produced. Genres. There's too many bands these days to have set genres.
It's just you need
just
boxes
make
to
the
put
music,
things in, don't you?
Yeah.
As well as
Otherwise,
that,
it's really
I feel
difficult to talk about music.
It would be hard to
I feel
find
like-
anything similar to what you like.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But I feel like the
That's
direction
true.
a lot of more modern bands are taking, though, and I feel like Idols and all of the new post-punk bands are kind of like an example of this. In that, if you listen to the Sex Pistols, every fucking song sounds like the Sex Pistols. Like, they don't really switch it up like too much. Whereas with new bands, I feel like if all of your music sounds the same, you're dead before you even start. I think. Like, I don't think the average listener who gets invested in a band is willing to listen to an album that all sounds exactly the same anymore.
I don't know, mate. Have you heard of an artist called GHOSTEMANE?
No.
Oh no.
Who's
It's very
that?
popular.
I forgot after I drank all that pain.
It all depends. It all depends on
Sorry, spoilers.
what you're doing. Like, I mean, our band, CHUB, we write what we want at the time.
Exactly.
We got a really fast-paced punk song going into a fucking hard rock song about a woman who we all think is very pretty.
Woman.
Yeah,
Exactly. You've seen her. You've all seen her.
we've all seen her.
And
Beautiful, smooth-skinned woman.
Tim's just saying
Like
that.
you
with
all
it
have-
at all.
Oh, you'll
Like,
find
who
out.
is this woman?
You'll find out hopefully at the end of November. That's our goal.
Yeah.
Pardon me.
Okay, cool. Did anyone have any sort of final points or anything they want to speak about? Some specific songs or anything?
I wanted to make a quick comparison to Slaves, because I've listened to a little bit of Slaves, and these guys kind of reminded me of them. I was going to ask, what are Slaves? Are they post-punk, or are they just normal punk?
Slaves are. I think
like-
slaves are normal. Yeah, I think slaves are like normal punk. So they're like, they're super like. I think what sets them apart from Idols is that they're like a lot more minimalist, and the more minimal you go, the closer to punk you get, I feel. Like the more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 you go, that's like punk. But like anything like streams outside of that still has punk like tendencies, I guess. Like that would be considered post-punk. So yeah, so I feel like that would probably be a good comparison. But yeah, they do sound super similar. Like I actually bumped into the singer in Brighton like a couple of months ago of Slaves. And he was really nice. He's such a nice guy, and like literally like because obviously all their stuff's similar. It's like anti-establishment, like really rah rah rah. And he's like, "Oh man, thank you so much. I really appreciate that." I'm like, I definitely want to have that same similar vibe, like when people meet us.
For sure, driving home the fact that modern punk is nice and full of nice
Exactly.
people. It's less bin bags,
nice
more
people.
fucking smiles.
Yeah,
Back to life.
the thing I was going to say is,
Thanks for life.
Yeah, less bin bags, more bin bags for life.
Oh,
Sainsbury's
and
shop.
that's gonna be on a
sounds like a
poster
fucking-
somewhere.
Our aesthetic. Are we
That
just gonna
sounds like an
make-
album art name. I
Well,
think that'd make a good like album name.
from bin bags to bags for life.
Yeah.
I love
Or
that.
just bin bags for life.
Bin
Oh,
bags.
Bin bags.
big,
Call her
Come
album
out on
that.
stage wearing only bin bags.
big bags for life.
That's the new gangster rap album.
Nice.
Anyway, I was gonna say, yeah, I feel like this whole punk renaissance has kind of been well overdue. We've been talking for years. I mean, obviously people have been fucking mad about all sorts of stuff for years, and I feel like it's kind of reached a boiling point over the last couple of years. And it was inevitable that punk was going to make a comeback, or at least the punk like sensibilities and people.
Well, there are other angry boy genres now, such as hardcore and all that, aren't there? So there's other ways for people to express their political dissatisfaction.
Yeah, I mean, ranging all the way. The Levelers recently released a new album, and they're folk. The original punk.
Yeah.
Was it called "Fuck You, Tory Cunts"?
Yeah, man.
Wicker
Sounds like
baskets for life.
Sounds like a Brighton thing.
Right. Yes. Yeah, like
Alright,
final points. Go on, Greg.
I've done all my shit. I was gonna say scores.
Scores. Go on in. What's your score?
All right. So, like I said, I had a fair few negatives for this album, but overall I did enjoy it. And like with previous albums where I've liked the message but not so much the music, I can appreciate it on multiple levels. My favourite songs were Mr. Motivator, funnily enough, Anxiety, even though we kind of chatted shit about it, and Model Village. And overall, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Ooh. Go on, Tim.
Thanks.
Well, considering I liked the half of the album, I liked the half of the music that wasn't the voice, and I liked the lyrics but not the vocal style. I mean, it all points to like 5 out of 10 for me. I liked half of it.
Nice.
That's a solid
Solid
calculation.
5.
Yeah, 5 out of 10, which is average, everyone. Internet. Average. It's
Average.
not. A 5 out of 10 is still a good score. Fuck's sake. I hate score systems. Sorry, a fucking song about it.
Ain't nothing wrong with a 5 out of 10.
Oh my god,
So
yeah.
take down Metacritic. Oh,
Just write a
What is it?
really average song
Picking
called
a
5 out of 10. And just write it to be like,
purposely
completely
write an average
nondescript.
song.
Yeah.
Local 5 out of
Just
10
sing about
man.
how it's like pretty okay,
Yeah.
but not that great. So don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not that bad though.
Now-
It's not bad. It's
Now you're thinking like idols now. See, like
Yeah.
writing a song about
Yeah.
anxiety that gives you anxiety. Write a song that's average about 5. That's meta. That's meta as fuck.
God, so meta.
Meta.
Yeah. Don't want to go down the
Breaking
rabbit
new
hole.
ground as always on this podcast.
Naturally.
Love it. God, love it.
I'm going to jump in, I guess. Let's go with me, Zach Smith, the bassist. Overall, I thought the music in the background was awesome, and it literally just took it down from his vocal delivery. I had the same issues with Fontaine's DC and this guy. I just felt it was maybe like it's one of those things where if you keep listening, you'll get it. But on one listen, I thought he sounded really like a bit flat, a bit mono, until Model Village, where he
found ultra mono.
Ultra mono.
That's the name of the album.
He's pointed ultra mono.
Hey, you said it.
I said the thing.
You said the name.
Oh my god, maybe it was on purpose. Maybe he's gonna listen to this podcast and go, yes, they fell into my trap.
Meta.
But Model Village was a really good song, and I appreciated the variety in the music. I just didn't really like his singing. Same as Tim, 5 out of 10. Just the tip of the mountain. I guess.
The average plane.
For me, yeah, I genuinely, I didn't even realise that his voice was anything out of the ordinary until you guys pointed it out. But I feel like the weirdness of his voice and the way he pronounces some things, like if he said "let's seize the day" instead of "let's seize the day," then I don't think it would have had like the same impact, you know. I feel like his voice really adds to everything. And as you say, yeah, like all the instruments are really cool. There's like some really driving songs here. I'm pretty sure like most of the songs on this album you listen to and you just want to beat someone up. And that's what punk's for.
No, we agreed it was about kindness.
It's supposed to be being nice to people.
Yeah, I want to go out and give them a bag for life.
It's about beating people.
I'm trying to help you be better.
Consent.
Beating someone up with consent.
Dueling. Yeah, dueling.
I think that's just called sex.
What?
Beating them up.
Beat each other up?
You never heard WAP when they're like, "Get up"? They tell them to beat up their vaginas. Is that not a thing? Is that a thing that young people say? I don't know.
I mean, I was thinking more like an all-out Barbara.
Tim, that's one of our songs.
Well.
I gathered.
Because, you know, we're getting so many fights. It's relatable meme.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatable.
I can't remember the last time we went out and there wasn't a fight.
Oh, I love me a fight, but only when it's consented.
Yeah,
it's
purely consensual.
It's with inflatables.
Go on, Kyle, what's your score?
Favorite tracks: Mr. Motivator, Model Village, Netouche Pas Moi, and Carcinogenic. Everything else was good. The hymn was kind of meh. I think it's a really strong album. I'd happily listen to the whole thing again. I'll give it like 7.5.
Oh,
Ooh, gotta top me, haven't you? Fucking hell.
I was like 8 or 7, and I was like, okay, Brain, you can't decide this yourself.
I think I did something similar last week. Go on, Ben, wrap it up.
I'll wrap it up in a nice little bow. So yeah, this has definitely been one of my, if not the best album of 2020, I think, for me. Not only like I feel like the instrumentation, obviously, like everyone said, is really good, varied. It takes things in new directions, especially when there's like it's simple enough that it's punchy, but it's varied enough that obviously it keeps you interested. His vocals are amazing, in my opinion, just because they're really abrasive. I feel like it complements the things that he's speaking about. If he was talking about things like class, like racism, sexism against women and everyone and everything like that, but he was singing about it, I feel like it would lose a lot of the punchiness. So the fact that he's kind of shouting it down your face is kind of complements what he's talking about, which is a lot of really heavy subjects.
Wait, can I just chime in? I want to say I'm probably going to listen to this album again because I reckon it's a grower for me.
I feel like
if
you liked Model Village, give just by itself watch Mr. Motivator again, because that's probably like the best song on the album because it's the most like singy and like it makes you feel good because it's a song about motivating. For me, I literally because it's probably one of the best from this year. I love literally all the songs on this album apart from a hymn. I feel like it's towards the latter end of the album. It's a lot slower and it's a good song. I don't know.
It's like the slow song at the end. I don't know if any of them can play piano. I don't know if they just threw in it in MIDI or whatever, but I feel like they should have had some piano in that song.
Yeah, for sure. Like if they were gonna have it as that sort of slow kind of like Bernie kind of song about a lot of heavy sort of subjects, they could have put the piano in there as well. Things to note as well, really quickly before I say my thing, they had a lot of people working on it with them as well. They're quite big in the sort of like indie community. In the Touche Pas Moi, they had the singer from
Savages.
From Savages. That's it. Thank you, Carl. Jenny Beth. She's amazing, and Savages are really, really good. And like the piano bit as well from Kill 'Em With Kindness. That wasn't even one of them. I think that was like someone like someone called Jamie Callum. I'm not sure who that is. He's a British jazz artist.
See, I never even thought about bringing other musicians in. Like, you don't really get that much with rock music.
Yeah, exactly. It's they have because this is their third album. They gained a lot of traction from Brutalism and Joy as an Act of Resistance, their first two albums. So they've kind of like people obviously want to clamber to get onto this sort of hype train. Amazing stuff. Like literally the only part I didn't really like and I still liked it was a hymn. This is a 9.5 for me. This is one of their best albums.
So 12 Foot Ninja are an Australian heavy metal band. This is their first album called Silent Machine. They've come out with one album since, and they had 2 EPs before it, and it's all amazing. They have played alongside many well-known heavy metal musicians, including Periphery and Disturbed they've toured with, and I learned this all on the Wikipedia just before we started. They also have... Oh, yeah. They also apparently broke a world record for the most money crowdfunded for a music video, which was for Ain't That a Bitch. And I hope you guys did watch their music videos, because they're all fucking really strange.
Is that the one where it changes genres?
No, that's coming for you.
Is that the one?
Well,
I know
the one I mean.
They do that. They do that in a lot of their songs. They're a strange band. They mix genres a lot, as you've just alluded to. They include weird influences, and they have some quite jarring transitions. But I think they mesh together extremely well. They are still experimenting with their sound. This album is very different from the next album, and it's quite different from what came before it. So they're still finding their true sounds, as it were. But yeah, what did you guys think? I'm gonna pick on Kyle.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think me and you found this band at around about the same time, right? Or was it you that showed me them?
One of us showed it to the other one. I have no idea.
Yeah, I can't remember, but it was a while back. I think it was like just as this album had come out, because I think the "Coming for You" video was like brand spanking new, and the music video is great. But I did not watch the one for the other stuff. But yeah, I like this band. We wanted to see them at Download, but the tent was full, so that was annoying. Oh no, didn't
they had technical issues. They were silent for about 25 minutes, and we were just standing there. And then they did actually play 3 songs, including "Coming for You" and I think "Mother Sky," and then like one off the next album. But yeah, it was a bit disappointing.
Yeah, a bit sad.
I fucking hate it when that happens.
Not their fault.
When I saw
they came all the way from Australia for that shit.
Yeah, when I saw, speaking of Aussies, when I saw Airborne at Download once, you couldn't hear the guitars. All you could hear was the bass and drums.
Yeah, I was there.
No one wants to hear that.
I was so fucking sad about that, but they redeemed themselves every other time I've seen them, and it probably wasn't even their fault. Same with 12 Foot Ninja.
Yeah, they were one of the first bands on second stage. But yeah, I really like these guys. I always like bands that switch things up a lot. I really like the variety of sounds that they are going for. Yeah, like for the most part, their songs are all quite unique. I feel like there's a point though where there's like 3 songs in a row. Liberation, Silent Machine, and Rogue are all really similar to each other, and they're all like very kind of soft, slow songs, which I feel like would have been better served if they were a bit more separated out throughout the album. And also there's a few times where they use like reggae ska riffs, but they're all a bit too similar to each other in my opinion, and it makes it a little bit samey.
So much like reggae.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, there's not much you can do with reggae, is there? But
I felt like it was a nice, weird little Australian twist on it. Like they have some like doing sounds in there that sounds like a fucking wobble board or something. It sounds a bit Rolf Harrisy, you know.
Maybe not get into that.
Oh no!
That's not a good comparison.
Did they have a didgeridoo? I can't remember.
I don't think.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
Oh, that'd be sick.
But yeah, for the most part, I've only got. Well, I mean, yeah. Before I listened to this album, I thought I really liked this band, and I still like them. But like from a critical standpoint, I was thinking about 4 songs in. I got to Shuriken, and I was like, if they made like just a traditional metal album where it didn't have any like random genre shifts and stuff, would it be good? And I can't help but think that probably not. I feel like their actual metal riffs and even the separate like jazzy riffs that they throw in are all quite simple, and I can't name any off of the album that are like
Don't say
really
the S word.
standout.
Oh. It's not a bad thing though. It's simple though.
It's not, but what I mean is like generally with bands that I really fall in love with, I'm like, this riff is sick, you know, this part of the song's really cool. Whereas I feel like with this band, like the only parts that I remember of them, and I've listened to them quite a few times now, are like the vocals. And even then, like his vocals, I really like his vocals, but I feel like his delivery doesn't change much throughout the album. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like I feel like I'm kind of shitting on it, but I'm not. I did enjoy it, but like from a
I actually do have to agree a little bit on like the guitar riffs and the guitar tone is like it's almost like you've seen the magic trick and the way it's done after the first few songs, and then it's like you're seeing the same trick done again. But it's still cool. Like it's still nice. It's the same. Like I had a similar experience. I thought I liked this album probably a bit more than I did when it came to listening to it again this time, because it does get a little bit samey. So yeah, no, you're not shitting on it like more than it deserves. But it's still a cool magic trick though.
yeah. I mean, the first few times you hear that switch up in like Mother Sky coming for you and stuff, it's like, I mean, Ben like lost his fucking mind when it switched up, and I'm just there like, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
feel
When
like
I first heard that, I was a bit like, well, the Coming For You has like in spades. And I was like, is the entire album going to be like this? And then constantly going 1 minute or so and then going, but what about if we played like this? And I was
What if
like,
we were a
if you do
disco
that,
band?
I was like, that might get a little bit annoying. But actually, it wasn't. I think they played to their strengths. Like, you talk about the singer having a nice voice but not really changing his delivery much. But he's got a pretty powerful voice, I think. So it's sort of like, why would you not use that to your advantage? I mean, not everyone has those kind of voices where they can just belt out something and it just kind of works. So he does change it enough so it doesn't completely like disrupt what the genre is meant to be. Like, but it's like an almost like, what was it, like salsa-esque sort of stuff in Coming For You. Stuff. But he doesn't like, he doesn't suddenly go like Spanish in style or anything. But it's not like immersion breaking. You'd be like, yeah, if you had somebody singing in English over this, so that would be about right. Which I think you could
like
really go wrong with that, I think.
He's the glue that kind of holds the album together, probably, in that he stays the same throughout.
Yeah, I feel like the changes and everything, this album's like a sum of its parts album. So like the fact that they have all these different riffs that do slot together well and that do complement each other well is what makes it good and enjoyable. But like individually, any of the riffs, like if they weren't like genre shifting and stuff, I don't feel like they'd be anything special. But the fact that they do that is what makes them like stand out, you know.
I mean, I'm gonna jump in here, and I thought the riffs were fucking awesome. When they start going into like those breakdowny bits and stuff, I was just like, oh, yes, oh, and like there's a couple. I need to start writing down song names, but there was a couple of songs in there where they were having breakdown riffs, complemented with like dubsteppy kind of sounds and stuff. Like, and I thought that sounded amazing. It sounded like the Korn dubstep album that I really liked. And I personally think that metal as a genre, and I think you guys agree, can go with anything and it will sound good. Like,
Pretty much.
the distorted
it's
guitar and like the booming vocals just sound good against pretty much every instrument. So I really fucking loved this album, actually. I don't see how it's simple, but then again, I'm not like looking for intricacies, I guess. I'm just
I don't think it is simple. I think there's loads to appreciate in all the riffs. It's just that, like, there's loads of complexity, but it kind of repeats, if you see what I mean. Like, each individual song has a lot of layers, but those layers don't change that much throughout the album, I guess, is what we were saying.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I personally don't. That doesn't like bother me at all, really. I really
Well, it's only
like
something
this.
that I noticed because it's like my 5th or 6th time hearing a lot of these songs. More than that. Like, I've
that'll
heard
do
these
it.
songs so many times. So I'm looking at it from
Yeah.
like a different perspective.
That'll do it.
I've
Yeah,
listened to
maybe,
this album
like-
countless times. Like, I fucking love this album.
Maybe
Well, I
like
remember-
looking back at Idols being an album where you come back to it and you listen to it a few times, you get used to the voice, and then you kind of get along with it a lot better than you did first time around. I feel like this album's very much like a kind of, the first time you hear it's probably the best time you hear it.
Really?
It's not that it gets like steadily worse, but I think like the first time hearing it, because you're all the change ups and everything else are brand new to you. You've never heard bands do that really. So I think you kind of maybe you kind of gloss over the more simple bits, and then you come back to it, and maybe you're looking for a bit more detail or a bit more lyrically or something, and you won't get too much of that because they're just a band that seems to be like all about having fun. Like, especially looking at the videos, they just look like this is just something fun for them.
Yeah,
rather than trying to be like musically brilliant.
I really liked the genre mashups. There's a song by Kiss and Dynamite called Cadillac Maniac, and it's a song that they did with a band called the Baseballs, which they sound kind of like Elvis Presley. So they have like the verses are sung in like the style of rock and roll and Elvis, and then the choruses are like heavy metal with the matey from Kiss and Dynamite. I think those kind of like mashups really work if it's done right, and this is definitely done right for sure. And I've not dove into many bands like this, but like there's not many, is there?
No, they're pretty unique.
Really.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm really heard a lot of other people do anything like it. Really, I mean, you could take an aspect of this band, like the Genty guitar, and say there's other bands that do that, but there's no one else who does this combination of things like the way that they do it. I think they really are something different.
Yeah.
I think their
Also-
timing is just about right in it as well. They don't overstay too long in certain styles, and they don't shift so many times that you're kind of confused by what's going on. I think they actually managed to balance it pretty damn well.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is it's not even the like actual songs or the actual material. I feel like maybe they've just if they just put the songs on the album in a different order, it would have taken a lot of that feeling of sameness, I think. Because there's a lot of diversity here, but there's the fact that, like, as I say, there's like a few tracks in a row that sound very similar.
Yeah, I found that back end of the album, especially, it sort of went just like almost like they sort of ran out of steam a little bit. Like they'd worn themselves out after the first few songs, and were kind of a bit like, what do we do now?
I was actually just about to jump in there and completely echo what Tim was saying. So I really liked this album. It was like Kyle said, like when I heard, because I didn't hear anything and I didn't even realize what they were like about. So like in that first song, like Coming For You, when like it goes into that second part, it's just like, dude, I literally turned to Kyle, I was like, what? like it was such a novel thing. So like when it happened, I was like, oh, cool.
Ooh-wee.
Oh, that's so cool. And I felt like this album was like kind of like scaling down a mountain. Like it like started so strong, and then like as goes on, like the whole like up to the sort of maybe like just past the midpoint, like or maybe to the latter half of the album, it started to get a little bit stale for me. Not bad, not like it was bad, but like you were saying, like they were doing similar things consistently, where the other songs like it got the novelty kind of ran out a little bit, and I was like, oh okay. But like I feel like any of the songs from this album would be amazing in like a shuffle playlist, where like you're listening amongst other things. So when like any of these songs come on from this album, like it's like oh it like super changes it up. But like hearing it all in quick succession, one after another, it kind of loses a little bit of its like luster for me. Because it's kind of like. But I feel like as a sort of like a sound in general, it was really, really cool. Like obviously it's like I've never heard this be done before. Like aside from, I mean, obviously genre mashups have always happened. Like how many times have we fucking seen Skin Dread for God's sake? Like, like so we kind of
the best genre mashup of all time.
And I don't even like reggae. So the fact that they can make it sound good is a testament to how good Skin Dread are. But yeah, like even still, like with that in mind, I still really liked this album. It was like I liked the sort of like the juxtaposition of all like the samba-y, like it sounded like a mixture of like samba and ska and like all these like really weird like European kind of sounds mixed with like obviously just normal like metal and like shouty stuff occasionally. Yeah, I really liked it.
One thing I forgot to mention, which I was going to say, one of the members, I think it's the singer, actually wrote a 72-page comic book based on this album, and there's like a chapter of the comic is one for each of the songs. So I kind of felt listening to it. I felt listening to it that the lyrics didn't mean much, but it turns out actually it's almost like a concept album, and there's a whole thing about it, which I couldn't find it to read, but it does exist.
Damn
concept
albums.
About 12-foot ninjas.
No, you can't escape the concept album.
Yeah.
Like the comic book is
Glory
meant to be about
hammer
this
to
massive
unleash the
ninjas.
archers. Sorry, Tim.
What was that,
I just
sorry,
went completely over you.
I was just saying that I think the comic book is literally about a ninja who's 12 feet tall or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, it's about the Wikipedia summary was like a ninja who's trying to save the world from itself because everybody's lost their way, sort of thing. Yeah, that's all Wikipedia said about it.
Sounds pretty punk.
Sounds amazing. I'm gonna try and find it.
Yeah, you should definitely find it.
If you want to know that they're based on some weird stuff, you just have to watch the videos. There's
I've only
definitely
seen
something going on there.
Watch the Ain't That a Bitch video. It goes in a really, really strange direction.
Really?
Like, not what the song's about at all. Yeah, that's the one that broke the record for most money crowdfunded for a music video, and they just take it in a really strange direction.
Or
it's about where like
they could.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that the music video about like trolls and shit, like internet trolls and stuff?
Yeah. They hunt down someone who leaves an angry comment on one of their songs, and they like chop him up and turn him into meat.
Yeah.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Nice.
The video for Mother Sky is a bit of a weird one as well. But they're just all like all running down to like the rehearsal studios or something to go and they're learning to dance or something like that. And like they're all like getting like weapons, like they're all just sitting around, like one's in the bathtub or something, and just pulls like an M4 out of the bathtub. Another one's got like an RPG or something, and they get there and they're all just like running throughout the entire album to get there. They get there at the end, and then they have this sort of thing of, oh, we don't need what are the weapons all about? Like we're just here to practice. And I was like, oh, it's something to do with like making up for the masculine side of things, so we don't look feminine for learning to dance or something like that. And I was just like, what is going on?
That's such an Australian sense of humour in it. Just like, oh shit, we're dancing! Quick, get a gun out. Make us look manly.
It's just like an action sequence of them all just like rushing through crowds and stuff, trying to get there. Like it's like an action movie, and they all get there, and then there's like they cut the music video to have like a dialogue thing, and they just it's one of the lines is.
Wait, are they talking in the street?
They're like talking outside of the studio and like
I've
on
seen
the road.
that video, I think.
And they're like, to explain our characters' inherent complexities of feeling emasculated by a personal quest to dance. And that's probably why they had all the weapons at the start. And they're basically just trolling people who think it's just a generic like video.
Oh,
So I thought it was quite funny.
I like that. Australians have like the best sense of humour. I swear, like most Aussie bands are just nutters.
Yeah.
You know, I first found this band because of Download. Download
I think
Festival.
Australia's very much halfway between America and the UK. They're a lot more like outgoing than we are, but then they're not quite as nuts, shall we say?
I feel like the logistics of touring Australia must be awful as well, right?
Oh god!
Like, imagine being a band that starts in Australia. Like, how the fuck do you gig? Like,
yeah, for sure.
Do you just fly everywhere? Do you just drive for hours and hours and hours and hours?
They kind of just play like the big places. Right? You know, they kind of just do like one gig and then like that's it, because it is hard. There's a YouTuber I watch called Down With This Sort of Thing. He's a very small YouTuber, and he's like, he travels like, you know, 8 hours, you know, overnight trains, and gets hotels just to see a gig, because there's no other way really.
Fuck that. I'm so glad that we live in a tiny rammed country where there's a gig on every street corner.
Yeah, only in London though.
Yeah, true. Brighton too.
Not right now, sadly. I recognised Mother Sky, Greg. You put it on in the car on the way to Cornwall, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did.
I really like that song.
Great.
It's got a really fucking
song.
catchy chorus, and a good chorus is what I like in my music. Something to sing along to when you're doing the washing up. It's really good.
I think that song in particular sticks in my head in a kind of slightly annoying way, because he says "moo the sky," and every single time I hear that, I'm like, "It's Mother."
He's not a cow.
What are you, a cow, bro?
Some kind of Australian cow.
Listen for it. He says it. It's really irritating. But I love that song.
It's gonna be like a fucking
I've ruined it now.
Plate smash. Yeah, I hate it now. 2 out of 10.
Just
anyway,
marks.
Anybody have any final things to say?
I don't. Other than like my out ting, which I guess I'll say now because I'm still talking.
What are you doing up here?
I really like this album. When you Claire and I discovered this band before Download, because Claire and I always go through the lineup, you know, like a month beforehand to make sure there's no hidden gems hidden within. And 12 Foot Ninja was one of the hidden gems that we found. They're not that hidden because obviously I knew them through you guys. But yeah, I really like them. But I think they were clashing with someone that I wanted to see, or I can't remember why I wasn't with you guys, but yeah, they're definitely like on my radar, and I knew I liked them. And listening to this album in its entirety kind of just solidified that shit. So when gigs are allowed back again, I'll definitely go see them. I need to start writing fucking song names down. This is gonna be like, I'm probably gonna listen to this album again just so I can, you know, pinpoint what I really liked about it. But overall, it was like the amazing riffs, the really heavy fucking riffs, especially, just like, because I just really liked just listening to them today. Just like, yes, fuck plates as I'm washing up. Yeah.
Ben's laptop died, by the way. That's why he's looking like a.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I would also
Paid
like
a
to say
heavy
my
price
phone
for that.
is on 15%, so I might be screwed soon.
Oh shit. Well, fuck. Let's speed
It's
this up.
been
a bit.
charging this whole time, but it's still running down. No, so I mean I can try and switch to my computer later, but
Yeah. All right. Well,
something will happen.
I gave it a 7 out of 10. I really liked it. I'm a fan now. I'll go see them live, and I want to see a 12-foot ninja. Go on,
Yeah,
Tim.
if there's no ninjas on stage, I'll be mad.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same. It was it's a 7 out of 10 for me. I quite like the sort of riffs and stuff. I liked how they switched up. They didn't stay around too long. A couple of songs, to be honest, take or leave them. But otherwise, the entire album was actually quite a bit of fun. Not something I was expecting coming from the first one. I thought, oh, look at this. It's a band that's going to try and be quirky and try and change it up, and they're going to get it wrong. But they didn't. They got it right. So, yeah, 7 out of 10. Very good.
Oh, fuck yeah. Alright, Kyle.
Kyle or Ben?
Oh, me or Ben? I guess I'll go. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me as well. I already like this band. I continue to like this band. I feel like, as was said before, they are served a lot better by listening to like individual songs. And even though I kind of poo-pooed it earlier and said that each of the individual riffs aren't anything special, it really is the sum of its own parts, and the fact that all the different stuff they're doing gels so well is really a testament to how good the songwriting is and how well they've managed to pull this off. So yeah, 7 out of 10. It's good.
It's good shit. Go on, Ben.
Benjamin?
Well, I guess I'm going to join the bandwagon as well, and it's a 7 out of 10 for me as well.
It's the first ever resounding same vote.
Yeah, it's a clean 7 out of 10. I think all around the board. It's to, I guess, to echo everyone else's points. It literally like the novelty was amazing. It didn't wear off completely, which like definitely lended to the rest of the album. It was a little bit lacking at the end. But I suppose that happens with all kind of listening when it's like a new experience like that. Yeah, the guitar work was awesome. The switch ups were awesome. I loved the singer's voice. Like, it was amazing, even when it was like, you know, a mix of the heavier stuff and the kind of more like sambary stuff. Ooh. It complemented both styles really, really nicely. Which, like, again, is a testament to how good his singing is. If it can like fit nicely, and he didn't really change it up that much, but if it can fit well in all of those, then it's great singing. You know, like, I mean, you wouldn't be able to see Idols like singer Joe Talbot like singing like the same as he is in Idols, like during those nice softer bits. So
I'd definitely like to hear that though.
Maybe that's something that Chub can.
There's a challenge set out for him.
Yeah, I really liked this and enjoyed this album. I had a good time, and I've definitely added the first 5 songs to my liked list, so I've been listening to them a fair bit. Thanks, Greg.
Hot diggity dog.
Hot dog, hot diggity dog.
Well, I guess I better fuck up your 7-point average and say, screw your consensus. I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
What?
Oh. Focus on that one chance
Different
for
boy.
unity.
This was our one
Gotta
chance.
disagree.
There's always
Never.
one.
No, yeah, I think we're all probably going to agree on the next one. But yeah, I think it's amazing. I think it gets extra points for being super unique. All the reasons we've said, it's really good. My favorite songs are "Coming for You," "Mother Sky," and I'm a big fan of "Ain't That a Bitch." I really like that song. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Fuck you.
Such a contrarian, Greg. Fuck.
I know.
Okay, Tim.
Here we go.
Griffith. Tim.
What have I done?
Timony.
What have you done? Yeah, what have you done?
Well,
Been a naughty boy, Tim.
the last show was so kind of universally, you know, this music's not bad. You know, I can see why people like all this kind of stuff. So I was like, well, what if there was something that people won't like? So here we are.
Yep.
Ghostemane's noise.
Much like Rum Ahoy, Ghostmane, it's gonna be divided. Let's jump in.
I actually hadn't listened to this album in its entirety in order. When I went to see him, this is his new album, and I was just like, it is what it is. I know some of the tracks. I know some of the tracks are the ones I like. If he plays some of those, great. If he plays some of these other new ones, take it or leave it. I'm sure it's like everything live is better anyway. So I've recommended this one. And it's called Noise. It's out in 2018, and Noise is an acronym. Basically, no one is safe from evil. That's what it stands for.
Ooh.
He is.
That would be Noise Fair. Noise Fair.
No, that's.
No, he fucked that up.
No, because you can't just do it literally.
No one is safe. Evil.
No one is safe. Evil.
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 Every villain is lemons.
That is not a part of this album.
Can't take this seriously, okay?
Okay, so he is a Florida-based rapper. He moved from Florida to LA, I think, a while ago, but is taken on the style of Memphis rap into proceedings, which is, as he's got on in his career, he's gone further and further into sort of blackmail-inspired rap, and just generally, on his side of things, he makes whatever he wants to make. He doesn't really care if people don't like it, doesn't really care anything else like that. He's very much a sort of, I'm going to create this is art to me, and if you don't like it, then it's not for you. Go elsewhere. And
good man.
Yeah, it's very far down the rabbit hole of sort of sounds, I would say. It's sort of like a sort of ending point of all these other sort of things merging and meeting and then going off in its own direction. There's not too many things, I think, that sound much like this. I'd say the closest one's probably 9 Inch Nails, if I had to say.
Fortunately, there aren't many things that sound like this.
Well, it's fortunate for some. He actually has released a new album this week.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which is even further into the sort of metal side of things as opposed to the rap kind of things.
Listen to that after this, Carl. Let's do it.
You can if you like.
Are all of his intros called? I just realised all of his intros just intro dot something beginning with D.
Yeah. It's
is that on all of his
albums? Destitution. Yeah, he does that on all his albums.
Okay.
He has a lot of aggressive sort of tones, a lot of kind of dark lyrics. Like if you actually go onto like Genius, which is what the first time I did with half his lyrics, some of them are pretty rough. Like there is one on one of the tracks where he talks about basically how police will shoot people for random reasons, but they didn't shoot the people who did the Columbine shoot.
Yeah.
And things like that. And basically how he can, that's fine. Just go out and shoot people, it's fine. Not that he's saying that's fine. He's saying it's a criticism of the government.
That's pretty punk.
That's, yeah. I knew this would be something that people are going to struggle with, but as with everything, you have to try something to know you don't like it. So I appreciate you all for trying, and let's start this shitfest with Greg, since he's been busting through my screen to go rip it apart.
You're like, thank you for listening to this. They're like, we had no choice.
We gave it a chance.
I would be honoured to begin. I am so fucking angry at you, Tim, for liking this. Like,
What?
It's actually really hard to explain. Like, I know you're gonna think I didn't, but I tried to go into this with an open mind, and I almost didn't hate it for the first couple of tracks, or at least the first the intro. He was like singing, and I was like, okay, he can sing. Is there going to be singing? And then
No.
I wrote down a few things, which is better than anything I can come up off the cuff. The first thing I wrote down was, "This album gave me syphilis."
Okay. Starting light.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I looked on his Spotify page, and the fact that he has 3 million monthly listeners genuinely makes me want to end my fucking life right now and just cut my hands off and never make music again.
Well, it's funny you say that. Track 4 is called Bone Saw.
And has exactly that line.
Which is exactly
his
about
hands
that.
up.
Wait, didn't
He
we
knows
do-
it's meta. Yeah.
Didn't we was it CHUB Cast where we were talking about how a bone knife would be shit? Or was that something else? I might be
I
something
don't
else.
know.
Sorry.
I don't think that was a
so-
Chubb thing.
Ugh.
That was our other podcast, Murdercast.
That was
Yeah.
Buckner.
Murder car.
Yeah. That was that was a podcast where we discussed different tools for murdering people. It's very good.
Yeah, and rate them.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I have one other thing written down, which was, this is like if Hollywood Undead drank paint thinner instead of 40s.
Instead of what?
40s.
40s.
Oh, I thought you said boys.
And yeah.
Instead of boys.
Oh,
you
no.
don't drink
Whoa.
Don't drink. Oh, hey.
Ground them up with a bone saw.
I'm gonna leave it there because I'm sure we all have a lot to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So, me and Ben, we really put it to the last minute. I was like, okay, I know I'm not going to enjoy this. I know I'm not going to, but I was like, okay, maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. And I really went into it, same as Greg, like, okay, I'm going to try and enjoy this. And literally, like, the second song came on, Nihil, and we were just creasing. We were just laughing so much. As soon as that first bass drop came in, we're like, oh my fucking god, dude, like, it's just... Have you seen the picture he has on Spotify as well?
Oh, mate, it's the
Yeah.
same as the one he has on Apple Music.
Dude, he looks like a goth shark. He's like literally like fucking. You know, in One Piece, in the Arlong arc, there's that one fodder guy that Sanji fights.
Oh
He
my
looks
God.
like him.
Oh my god.
You know, maybe it's because I've been watching a shit ton of horror recently, but I think he actually creeps me out. That's what I was shuddering over.
Really, I think he just looks.
If I saw him in my room at fucking 3 a.m, I'd shit my fucking self so hard.
True.
If I saw that coming at me in a dark alleyway, I'd be going the other way as fast as I possibly could. Oh, you wouldn't be going, look how ridiculous he looks when he's coming at you with his bone saw.
Yeah, I mean,
And his sharp teeth.
yeah, he's gonna bite your arm off.
Sharp.
But,
okay.
Yeah, we were just. I was on Genius as well for this, and I was just reading a bunch of stuff. When I heard that no one is safe from evil thing, I was just like, it made me think of the whole SpongeBob every villain is lemons thing, and I just couldn't take it seriously. Like to me,
Oh,
he's that upset. He's gone.
Oh no.
He's like, fuck this.
Tim, we're sorry.
Tim, you knew this
Tim,
was
we're
gonna
sorry.
happen. You knew this was gonna happen.
I actually didn't do that. You don't believe me.
Oh, okay.
I just looked up and it just goes boom, and I'm like, okay, well, apparently I've had enough.
This is enough for a string for one day.
Let me continue.
Discord is just like, no more.
Protect him.
It sounds to me like a SoundCloud rapper like XXX Tentacion discovered Korn and Marilyn Manson and 9 Inch Nails and was like, this is really fucking cool. Like 2 decades after it was cool, and then like he's just like, there are some of the songs that are literally like Bonesaw, Oh, what was the song, Ben, where we were pissing ourselves? Because, oh yeah, Inside.
Oh, dude.
We were on
It
Genius.
was literally.
Ben had been sitting there, like, frothing at the mouth, like, it's just ripping off Nine Inch Nails. It's just fucking Nine Inch Nails. And then the song
He does
Inside,
say-
the only description of Inside on Genius is, I feel like this song was fully inspired by Nine Inch Nails. And we're like, no fucking shit, dude.
I was like, no, dude, that song is fucking. It was. Okay, no, I'm gonna wait my turn. I'm gonna wait my turn.
Nah, don't wait your turn. That's not how conversations work. No, I'm waiting
on,
my
guys.
turn.
It's because I interrupted
Give it to us,
Kyle.
Ben.
Like, okay,
Well,
so
With Inside, though, I
literally-
said Inside was like Papa Roach on crack. Is that the right song?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
The-
very
the
nice
chorus in Inside, to me, sounded like Papa Roach, but really distorted. Ben,
There's a few
Kyle,
things.
friends.
I've got a few silly little points to make, and then I'll let Ben go ham because it seems like he wants to wait his turn. So
That's
there's a
how
few
fluent
things. That,
conversations work. Sorry.
yes. There's a few things that really made me laugh, like the song "Ball Gag" is talking about fucking a girl with a ball gag, but there's just this one line like it was something like he made it. It's just like the song all about like savagely fucking a girl with a ball gag, but then there's one line like "got consent, so I'm going hard." It's like I'm glad he got consent.
That's a
Well, I just said it was very important.
Bro, Ghostmane respects women, man. Come on.
I mean, I'm glad, but it kind of took away.
Right.
He's not a monster. He just looks like one.
Yeah. He gets consent when he
Please.
I don't
goes
know.
into fights at the pub too. He's a lovely man.
I've heard about these SoundCloud rappers. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
he-
should know that he is on the other side of the SoundCloud rappers thing and didn't really have any interaction. Like everyone thinks that they're all making tracks with each other, but he very much didn't. He did his own sort of thing. Like the only person he really spent any time with was Little Pete.
Interesting.
I feel
That
like they all
was
have the same
early.
dentist.
Maybe. I mean, they keep saying that the people in the UK have bad teeth, but
Mm.
they just make it worse on purpose.
Wait, are they actually his teeth?
Yeah,
No.
probably they were filed down or something. Like, a lot of people do
Probably.
that.
Damn.
No,
That's the thing
that's-
that happens.
No, I saw an interview with him. It's not his real teeth.
he has normal
Yeah.
teeth.
No.
He's
Can confirm.
normal looking guy.
Oh, phew.
Lame.
Disappointing.
Yes,
He's not
I
like
heard
that
he-
fucking riffraff guy. My main goal is to blow up with his like shark teeth.
Oh yeah. And then act like I don't know nobody.
Fucking.
That meme is so good. So stupid.
What was I going to say? There were some other lyrics that I found very funny. The song Gateka starts with, "See, I just can't relate. You tried to pretend we're the same, but we ain't the same. You tried to pretend for the fame. I say you were lame." Yeah.
Nice.
Not you're lame or you are lame. You a lame.
You a lame.
Lame. You singular lame.
The song My Heart of Glass, the last song, it's like this really like abrasive, rowdy, distorted song, and then the last song's like some 12-year-old goth kid picked up a guitar and made a song or something. I couldn't take it seriously. I was trying really hard to be like, okay, well, obviously his message gets across to a lot of people and it means a lot to a lot of people, but I can't help but feel like one of the points that me and Ben made was that this album makes me feel like a boomer because this is probably exactly how old people felt when Marilyn Manson was popular. Because we were just like, we loved it because it was rowdy and vitriolic and stuff. And this is basically the same, but like a more modernized style of music. But we're looking at it like, it's so stupid and silly. When really, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure kids feel the same way. As
I
we
can
did
tell you
about Marilyn Manson.
For being at the shows, I was definitely one of the older people there. That was last year or something. There was quite a lot of younger people there. But I think the thing that's interesting about him is the fact that he's not really like afraid of talking about these sort of things, even though they are kind of sort of like younger sort of failings that he's had. He's actually fine with being like this. In terms of the lyrics, in terms of like the rapping parts, that's pretty standard fare for most rappers nowadays. I mean, he's not the worst in terms of the rapping content. Like, actually, if you're taking the piss out of this, you should probably look at Lil Pump. I mean, my God, his lyrics. His lyrics are transcendent. He is, and he makes so much money. It's absurd.
I need to look
so
up
many
Lil
people.
Little Pump.
We should do like a full Chub Cast on just all trap, like SoundCloud.
Oh my God! Can we
musicians.
actually? Can we please do
Compared
a
to
trap
him-
special?
It'll be so funny.
Compared to him, this is goddamn poetry.
Damn.
Lil Pump.
To be
I just
fair-
found his. Sorry, I just found his song Lil Pump, and the first verse is, "Mama told me Lil Pump won't be shit. I told Lil Bitch I could move these bricks. I got a big 30-inch, and I got these clips. All I gotta do is just drill shit a burr."
Oh, it's beautiful.
I think when you put it in that kind of context, you should be able to appreciate Ghostmane for his writing.
Freddie
Well,
Mercury, eat your heart out.
The one thing I will give Ghostmane is that every other mumble rapper sounds the exact fucking same to me, but somehow Ghostmane has managed to make it worse. And that's quite impressive.
Oh,
I did not think you were going to go in that direction.
damn. The switcheroo. The
He
reverse.
does have about 3 different styles. And I admit, when the first time I listened to it, I was kind of a bit like, that's a bit of a weird one. That sounds very strange. But the more I listened to it, the more I was kind of just like, once you get used to it, I think it's not that bad. Like, something you do get used to. That being said, in terms of my musical taste, I listen to literally everything. And whilst I said, yeah, I didn't pick an album before this simply because I don't really listen to albums of this sort. Like, I did listen to his new album in its entirety from start to finish, just to see if it was similar, and it is fairly similar to this. But it's one of those things. I find certain songs I like and certain songs I didn't. I actually fell out of sort of liking of his music, and I'd already bought the tickets to go see him. And I was like, I'll go see him. It's not going to be, And then I started to get into it a little bit more just before I went, and then actually it was really good live because the rapping is very minimal. Like, a lot of it is the sort of soundscaping, industrial sort of metal backgrounding stuff. Where it's kind of like, it's more of like an experience in that sense rather than really a gig.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like without the rapping and stuff, it would just be an industrial album. Like, without even then, like, a lot of the vocals are very Korn or like very Marilyn Manson and stuff at times. Like, specifically songs like The Singularity and stuff, it feels like a Rammstein song to me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
There's so many elements from industrial in this album.
Yeah, for sure.
Which, like, I don't know. When I was listening to this album, I've got a couple of points to say. And one, earlier what did I say to you guys? Oh yeah, Josh said, "Good luck, have fun," my brother Josh. And I said, "At least you don't have to listen to Ghostmane." I hadn't actually listened to Ghostmane at that point, so I still didn't know what I was going myself in for. And I don't think and I'm probably going to get shit for this, but I didn't think he was as bad as, like, people make it out to be. I have a couple of, like, main points why I think that. Number one is I've had a shit day mentally, and I was fucking angry, like, all day, and I've been trying to get this, like, work done, like, religiously. So I was listening to this album while I was finishing up a fucking Pokemon video about. So yeah, the contrast's very normal, there. And
yeah.
I don't know why, but I was focusing more on the music behind his weird, crazy screaming, and it sounded more like a fucking, like, industrial and Marilyn Manson than like hip hop to me. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think, is this mumble rap? If this is mumble rap, I don't know what
I
the hell
mean-
mumble rap is.
The way he raps is mumble rap, but the music behind it isn't.
Okay. See, halfway through this album, I actually tried to imagine. I can't remember what song it was. I need to start fucking writing down song names, like I said. But I tried to imagine Marilyn Manson's vocals over the actual music that was going on here, and I can see it. This is definitely Marilyn Manson music, and you say it's not cool anymore, Kyle, but this kind of music's definitely coming back in a strange way. There's a lot of bands like this was at a Bloodstock and stuff, and Claire's really into a lot of industrial these days as well. A lot of it is German, so it is still very much a German genre, but I don't know. I need to re-listen to this one as well, because I said right here, if I was in the mood to pre-drink to glam music and get in the mood for a party, or if I'm listening to hard rock and singing along and dancing while I'm doing the washing up, I probably would have hated this album. But because I've had such a shit day, I actually found it quite cathartic, being oh, this sounds so fucking disgusting, why do I like it? But if you show me this tomorrow, I'll probably be it's fucking bollocks. But that's literally circumstance.
I think the thing with it is that you guys are looking at his sort of music from the opposite end of the spectrum, because you've listened to all the metal and everything like that. So those elements to you aren't very new. Whereas a lot of the Ghostemane sort of audience will be coming from the rap side of things, where they've been listening to the likes of Little Pump,
I never thought about
that sort of thing. So coming into that's probably their first exposure to metal elements in certain songs. If they've only listened to hip hop and chart music, you're not going to get a lot there. So I think he has his place in that sort of end of things, rather than from our side of things going towards rap. He is definitely on the side of sort of slightly ridiculous concepts and stuff to us. But in terms of their importance of going the other way, I'd say he's probably one of the only ones to really do it. But just talking about the instrumental part of things, he actually has a little side project called Bader Meinhof, which is a black metal sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about
that's his sort of black metal side thing he's just started doing. So he's not entirely about, and with each album the rap becomes sort of less and less, and sort of the lyrics and sort of that become a bit more, trying to be a bit more meaningful in terms of the actual content rather than just the feelings and the emotions. I think a lot of early stuff is purely what he's feeling, just writing it down and relating that with the rap and the metal aspects that he likes, and putting them together and saying, I like how this sounds, I don't care what anyone else thinks. And then I think the other sort of stuff, he's now sort of experimenting with that sort of deeper artistry with things. But this is the closest album I think I could get to something you guys would even tolerate. I think the other albums are way further off in terms of the rap side of things. So it is interesting to see that
even
people
his newer one.
His newer one is more metal again, but it wasn't out when I recommended it, and I didn't know that it was going to be out either.
Oh, is it? Is it literally a week old?
It's 5 days or something like that. It was last Wednesday or something like that.
Came out
Wednesday,
on October
Thursday.
21st. Yeah, 5 days ago.
Damn.
Yeah,
this guy.
Maybe it's the best thing ever.
Me.
It's probably not. It's more of the same as this album, in all honesty. If you didn't like this album, you have no chance of.
It's
not for
a
several
weird
albums.
one, because
I want to know. Yeah, sorry. Now you go.
I was just gonna say I think it really is just a sort of boomer thing, where I look at this sort of thing now and it's the lyrics are really, Marilyn Manson, I'm angry at this and I'm gonna beat up this and I'm gonna kill this, and here's some stuff about sex and stuff. And I think for now, because now that I'm a bit older, I just find that sort of stuff a little bit cringe. But I think if I heard it when I was younger, I would have thought it was super cool. And that's why I figure it doesn't surprise me that he's got loads of listeners, because I feel it's the sort of music where Marilyn Manson was exactly the same when he was about, right? People who were into Marilyn Manson were really fucking into Marilyn Manson, because he actually spoke to them on a personal and level. And I feel this is
Then it was fresh. It was completely new.
Well, yeah,
My
this
mum
is
said
too,
that the
really.
music scene in the mid-90s was just so stale. And then when Marilyn Manson came out, it was just like, something new.
We could do other
Different.
things other than. Yeah, I feel like he's had a similar influence on sort of rapping. Like he's it's allowed there to be more room for this sort of thing, and he's also given a whole bunch of new fans a kind of an opportunity to look at something that isn't just, yo, let's sell some cocaine and ride around with a bitch or something. It's like, great, that's that's been that concept is still going and has been going for years.
To be fair, one thing I think he hasn't like changed from all the other mumble rap is that, like, you say all that about his lyrics. I couldn't hear a fucking single lyric throughout my entire listen to the album because I wasn't looking at Genius lyrics. So I literally wrote down, one of my notes was, he raps quite fast in trench coat. Wish I knew what he was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't really know the lyrics either. I think that's one of the things.
There's a major difference, I think, from like Marilyn Manson. Major difference. Marilyn Manson to this is like, you actually need a robot to understand this music.
Yeah, I think that's actually part of the sort of thing. Even like, you don't really know what he's talking about. Only people that know him. Like, one of his old songs, he talks about the fact that he has an E in his name, and how that when promoters tried to book him, they wouldn't write down the E, and he was immediately knew that they weren't really like vibing with his music because they didn't even know how his name was spelled properly.
Yeah.
And he also, like, one of his songs, he talks about he won't just like play with any rapper or collab with any rapper because they don't really. They just want to use his aesthetic for things, and it's not about that to him. It's actually about the music for him. You know, no matter what you think of it, that's the one thing about it. Like, what sells it is the fact that this is authentic. At least to him. I mean, I don't know if it started that way, but definitely the later albums, including like the newest one, are definitely more down that road than the earlier ones.
I feel like I'm going to interject here with some positives to start us off, to kick us off. Nice positives. First of all, I loved. Which one was it? It was.
I thought you were going to say it was short.
Loved Android's Dream of Electric Sheep.
Yeah, I know why.
Because throughout the entire song, you didn't hear his fucking voice. And it was instrumental. No, in all fairness, like, dude, like, I'm not gonna lie. If you like some of this stuff, I would really recommend listening to more Nine Inch Nails if you haven't already, because they are just so much like this. Like, every aspect. When I was listening to this album, I couldn't like separate myself from thinking about other better things, because a lot of the stuff like isn't necessarily new or original. It's like, I described it as like if a fuckboy found industrial for the first time, like, and they kind of just started like rapping over it. And it's like,
That's literally
and like
what happened.
But the thing is,
and
that I thought that, but I just googled it, and Ghostemane is actually 29. He's older than us.
older. Yeah, I suppose, but it's not necessarily about his age. It's about the age of the audience it speaks to, I suppose. Which I was going to say is one of the positives. It's really good. Like, whenever these sort of genre bending things come into play, it's easy for a lot of us and a lot of like people are kind of like past that kind of stuff to be like, this is fucking goofy as shit. But, you know, I'm sure people said the same about like Linkin Park or nu metal when it like came out at first. Like, you know, that kind of rap and metal that came out during the early 2000s.
My parents fucking hate nu metal.
Yeah, they like
does.
you know,
Yeah.
same as my parents.
fair, I
They
think
thought it was goofy as shit. And like Linkin Park is like probably some of our like most favorite childhood memory like bands and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think
So,
we're
like,
all big nu metal fans, really, aren't we?
I mean,
Hey, when it goes off, it goes off.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey man, there's
Like,
some fucking great nu metal. Come on,
there
man.
it is. Nu metal was the
yeah.
band
Rage Against the
music
Machine.
that got me into like rock and metal, so I can't poo-poo
I
it.
mean,
Exactly.
everyone
So-
constantly
so,
shits
you know-
on Limp Bizkit, but like
Limp
Roland,
Bizkit.
when it comes
Dude, that
through,
album.
was the
Hey,
jam.
Roland slaps.
when it
dude.
comes through,
Their own.
So in that respect, I can kind of get it, like in the way that if it speaks to a younger generation that haven't had the, it speaks to a younger generation that haven't had the facilities to listen to the stuff that we already have listened to, then fucking like awesome. Because at the end of the day, like some of the kids that probably listen to this kind of music and really vibe with it haven't listened to like I've listened to loads of industrial like Ministry, Nine Inch Nails, and like Marilyn Manson and stuff because my parents are fucking awesome and we used to listen to it together. There's probably a lot of kids out there that don't have that kind of accessibility and like stuff for their, so they won't have experienced that. So this is quite fresh for them. So from like an outside point of view, like, I get it, like completely get it. So like yeah, objectively, like to be honest, I think it's actually really cool. Subjectively, from my own point of view, it's fucking hot garbage. Like
I've never seen Ben get so angry over
like
anything.
it's genuinely it made me so annoyed at how unoriginal it all was, apart from like the rapping bits, which
No, but that's just because you haven't heard the other rappers that sound exactly like that. That's why it seemed original.
I'm so glad I haven't, and I probably never will.
God, rate him. Rate him if.
Like,
sorry.
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say you might as well wrap your point up. No, not right now, but like you might as well rate it as well here. Go on, Ben.
And do it in a rap. Rap it.
Okay. That's all I fucking heard the whole time. No, it's like to be honest, like okay. So the main things, and I'll wrap it up with the fucking, just like his flow is goofy. He has a goofy ass flow. Like it's like the way he raps when he's doing the mumbling and when he's like high pitch and stuff. Like I get that it kind of contrasts with his low kind of rappy style, and it's kind of a bit different. But he sounds really dumb, and I just couldn't get into it at all. The instrumentation and the stuff behind it, like honestly, I would recommend like if you even liked Inside at all, like that was the song that broke me because like, the cadence of how he sung the chorus and even the verse, apart from the ending bit where he started mumble rapping. Every bit before that on Inside was literally pulled out of a Nine Inch Nails song, and it really annoyed me because I was like, "This is a rip-off!" Like, so it was just, yeah, it was kind of for people who appreciate and like this kind of stuff who haven't had access to it. And I think it's really good as well, like, as a little side note, that it's introducing like younger generation who aren't even into metal and stuff, like the trap kids and stuff, into slightly heavier stuff. Because in my opinion, the more people that get into rock and metal, like no matter where it was from, through new metal, through this kind of stuff, the better, in my opinion. So fair play to him.
For sure.
In that respect.
Absolutely.
Like I completely like back him, like what he's doing. I just don't back his music, and I personally fucking hate it. So I'll give this a 1 out of 10.
I think that might be the first one.
I mean, that's.
No, I think Greg gave Ramahoya a 1.
No, I gave it a 2.01 actually.
I don't think people gave Ramahoya a 1.
Somebody gave Sarah Vaughan a 1. I can't remember who. It wasn't me.
I think it was me. I think I gave it a 1.
I've never given a 1. Ramahoya was my lowest ever score until now.
She was just terrible.
Well, go on, Greg. You got to pick up the baton now.
You...
Stay until now.
All right.
Well, I do in a way agree. Oh, fucking hell.
Your mic suddenly got way better.
What?
It turns out that his
Did you hear that?
is
The
powered
quality
by
of his
vitriol.
microphones was amazing.
Suddenly it's like studio
Greg?
quality.
I think
Greg's
he died.
fallen down.
He's just trying to get right.
Oh fuck. Go on, Kyle. You do it. Go.
Okay. First few songs, I didn't even realise the track had changed. If I'm honest, like, was it Nihil, Flesh, Bonesaw? I was like, oh shit, this is a different song.
I think I did the same thing.
Yeah, they don't really have much of a structure. I feel like he's really going for more of like a arty, sort of unrestrained vibe. He's definitely like tapping the darkness and stuff. I think it's why people who, I've already kind of touched on this, but people who like him really like him because, like, to them it's like something that is for them and not for anyone else, sort of thing. But for me, like, I've heard plenty of music like this before. I've heard a lot of industrial. I grew up listening to stuff like Rammstein, Korn, Limp Bizkit and shit, and I feel like I've heard all that sort of stuff before, and so it kind of made this seem like a bit of like a caricature of that stuff. Like the lyrical content and like the delivery and stuff just seemed really corny to me. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give it a 1 out of 10 or a 2 out of 10 because, in fairness, it did make me laugh. And Black Blood, the song Black Blood is actually okay. I quite like that song.
So you got some enjoyment out of it. With
I did,
wasn't the
yeah,
enjoyment he was going for, but
yeah. So
it's
I
kind of
think
like The Room.
10. Oh, The Room! I tried to watch it and I couldn't.
Oh, it's so good.
You should watch Hubie Halloween if you want more of that good shit.
Oh
there.
my god, do not fucking watch Hubie Halloween. I would rather...
Well, the only reason why The Room is good is
what?
because of Tommy Wiseau. Like, if he wasn't in it, it'd be fucking shit. But he just...
You know what I'd rather do than listen to Hubie Halloween, like, or watch Hubie Halloween? I'd rather to listen to this Ghostemane anthem. That's how much I hate Hubie Halloween.
This one was merciful as well because it's only half an hour long.
Yeah. Oh, jeez.
That was one thing I was going to say. I may well pick like a SoundCloud rapper or something, but most of their songs are about 2 minutes long. So you summon each one in a short amount of time.
It's like just
ripping off a pasta.
Coincidentally, I showed Ben another artist that is making big waves in the e-girl scene at the moment called Corpse Husband. And he does very similar stuff to this, but I feel like his voice is nicer. So, but it's still ridiculous. But
still so
his voice is a lot distinctive. Yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. If you like this, listen to Nine Inch Nails and Korn and Marilyn Manson and Rammstein.
So, despite what you might say about the album helping a generation of musically malnourished kids to actually find out what music is, that may be true, but at the same time, it's still fucking awful ear poison. And everything it tries to do has been done better. It doesn't matter if the kids ain't heard it yet. Like, it's a sad fact that this is what they think music is. But I guess that's just the world that we live in these days.
Sounding such a boomer.
I know, and I hate it. But you know what? Kids don't know shit, dude. They're fucking idiots. Like, they don't genuinely have no idea what's good. And I wrote down, actually, funnily enough, for what we were saying before I cut out, one of my notes that I wrote down was, this sounds like it was written by a cult baby who grew up in an underground compound and never heard real music before. And that's basically what you guys were saying about the audience. Like, that's who this is for. It's for people who've never heard actual music.
Laying it thick. Keep it coming. This is like fucking golden syrup of reviews.
And on those grounds, and for those reasons, I'm going to give it a strong 0 out of 10.
Oh, not even the one.
It's not even music, according to you. It's not even music. It's just the noise that the fridge makes.
Genuinely, that is the best representation of how I feel about this album.
Oh my god, that's our first 0 out of 10. That's amazing.
God, probably might be our only one.
Possibly.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah, Tim, I'm sorry. I genuinely tried to like it.
It's- I
I
didn't
hope we
make
can
the
still
album.
begin.
I'm perfectly fine with you scoring wherever you want to score it. I didn't make the album. It doesn't offend me at all.
I'm
Well,
glad.
I'm gonna jump in. Let's say, this guy. Everything you've said, like, genuinely interests me because I feel like this guy would make a really good like Netflix documentary, just about his life. Because I bet he's had a. Just by looking at his pictures and the music he makes, he must have had a fucked up kind of something or other going on, and that kind of reflects on what's going on. So this guy like intrigues me. I don't know why. Well, I do know why. 'Cause look at him, but
Look at him, he's hideous.
and like I don't know if it's Tim doing his fucking reverse psychology shit. You know, is this like a seed that you've planted in my brain for years to come? Hello, Tim.
Yeah,
Hello. I don't know if you've planted a seed in my brain, Tim.
time's out after all.
Oh, okay. And you've like built this up to be the worst thing in the universe for me.
It's
at
not
least.
me doing that.
No, that was
True.
mostly me.
True. But like, I don't know. I was listening to this, and I don't think it was as bad as people make it out to be. But then again, I'm in the mood for this kind of angry boy music today. So if you played it to me yesterday or tomorrow, definitely yesterday when I was hungover, I would have been like, "Fuck off! This is bollocks." So, I mean, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10 because I didn't hate it, and I'm gonna re-listen to it just to make sure I didn't hate it. But I didn't hate it. I'm probably gonna regret saying this, and I'm never gonna hear the end of it. But you know, Ramahoy Ghostemane fucking mashup 2021.
Yeah.
Here it
Coming out.
comes.
It's coming soon.
Oh my
It's all like-
lord.
Like layers of shit. That's like a shit lasagna.
If you ever
Oh
give
my
an album of mine less than a
God.
4 in the future, I'm gonna be like, so you think it's worse than fucking Ghost?
No, because there's intricacies in reviewing. There's intricacies. And like I said, I was definitely in the mood for heavy music. Actually, another thing I needed to say is these headphones that I'm using right now, I don't actually usually listen to my music through these headphones. Obviously, I'm usually like washing up or something, so I've usually got the music out loud. But these headphones, my dad got me these for my birthday years ago, and these are like proper high-end music studio headphones that my dad uses, and loads of other people. So you said you laughed when the bass came on, but when the bass came on for the first time in these boys, I was literally just like, it was quite cool actually. So the fact that I'm using such crystal clear headphones might have benefited. If I was listening to it the way I usually listen to music, it probably wouldn't have been as good. So there was a lot of things in its favour for me today, to be fair. And that's that.
On a rainy day.
Yeah, I had my spliff out the window on a rainy day, my perfect Sarah Vaughan scenario, but with Ghostemane.
With Ghostemane. Far removed from that. I was going to say the song Nihil has like a part towards the end where it's like a drill or something, and I was
I didn't like that. I thought,
dude,
yeah.
I had it playing on the TV. I was like, if I had headphones on, I would have like literally, I could feel my teeth rattling out of my mouth.
Yeah, actually, I remember that coming on, and I was sitting there like editing, and I was just like, fuck, you know. But at the same time, yeah. Okay, I know we're going way over the top on this podcast, but it doesn't matter. I've been watching so much horror recently, and I'm really in that like horror mindset right now. And I've been watching like Haunting of Bly Manor with Claire, and I fucking suck with horror. So last night, not only did I not sleep very well on Saturday because I was drunk, but last night I literally got like 2 hours sleep because I fucking every time I shut my eyes I saw like little dolls with no eyes and fucking glowy eye men and fucking people standing in the corner of the room. Literally, which is why today I've been so like out of it and angry and frustrated and annoyed. So when I was listening to this, that drill bit legitimately kind of freaked me out. And then that's why I said, looking at him, I'm just a bit like, ugh. Just because I'm in that horror mindset of like Halloween and horror. Like, I've been watching so much horror that, I don't know. Again, everything lined up perfectly for the Ghostemane experience.
The full experience.
Oh dear.
Wow,
I've got a mirror right here and I keep seeing it in the corner of my eye and I'm like, oh, it's me.
I suppose I should give my review then.
Yeah, go on, Tim.
So...
Ben don't give a shit.
Wow. He's just like...
So many people are dropping in and out today.
I'm like, yeah.
No, what I would say is it's one of those things when I first started listening to him that I was kind of like, this is just kind of weird, whatever. Over the years, it's grown on me, and seeing it live with the bass being like, you can feel it in your chest or something. It does change. It did change how I viewed his music quite a lot, and seeing like how people interact with his music. But in terms of the music itself, it's really more of an art project, and I'm actually not that much of a fan of that sort of idea of, I'm very artsy, but I don't produce stuff that's sonically that enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
But I'd compare this quite heavily with 12-Foot Ninja, where it's all very nice to listen to. Like, you actually...
Oh god, let's say that to Greg.
Greg seems like he's lagging or something.
You've got the electronica and all that kind of stuff, which sounds quite nice to, whereas Ghostemane, it's almost purposefully like difficult to listen to because the emotions he's talking about are meant to be difficult to your ears to listen to, because it's difficult for him to talk about and most people to talk about, I think. But yeah, I like certain songs. I wasn't the greatest fan of this album. I saw it live. It was pretty good, but even seeing it live, I'm not the greatest fan. Yeah, certain songs I really like. I listen to all the time. Gattaca, Bonesaw I don't really. Trenchcoat I do. My Heart of Glass I literally had only heard live, and then this is the first time I listened to it like at home. And yeah, it's alright. It serves its emotional purposes when you want to listen to that sort of thing. But otherwise, yeah, not something you're going to be listening to all the time for any particular reason, unless you're sort of, edgy. That's the only real reason you would.
Edgelord.
It just is. It's that kind of music, and I think it's one of those things that I'll look back in the future and I'll be like, that was a moment in time.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I still appreciate his music. I appreciate what he's doing. Like, bringing it, metal and rap together is not easy. Linkin Park got a lot of shit for that back in the day as well. And that's part and parcel with doing something a bit different. And I think if it upset a lot of people to listen to and people didn't really like listening to it, and it was sort of whatever, I think that's pretty much what he sets out to do, really. I think that's sort of a lot of his enjoyment from it is actually disturbing people. You can tell just by the way he looks. But that's a lot of it is.
Yeah, I'm going to be thinking about his fucking face when I go to bed tonight.
Well, I can assure you from the interviews I've seen of him and when I saw him live, he's actually quite nice.
Thing is, if I saw a picture of Marilyn Manson, I wouldn't bat a fucking eyelid, so what the fuck am I on about?
You also, you have to remember, if you're having a nightmare about him, remember, he's a man that gets consent.
Yeah.
He is.
I actually want to...
this guy probably goes and like sees his gran. Probably, bakes cookies for like,
Well,
I bet he's got a soft side.
But to round it off, I
did want to kind of touch upon
a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Oh, 6 out of 10.
Which, considering everybody else's score, like considering this is an album I purposely picked, 6 out of 10 is reasonably low. But it's not.
I knew you were sort of memeing when you picked this album because like I've chatted so much shit about it in the past, and
I mainly picked it just because it's close to Halloween. He's kind of a spooky boy vibe, and he does do something interesting. It is an interesting sound. You know,
Yeah,
whether,
this guy like
whether you like it or
genuinely
not, it's
intrigues me.
interesting.
I want to know more about him, but not listen to
But,
much of his music. Just
I just want to see what he does. How does he operate as a person?
But there's a documentary, I can't remember what it's fucking called, but it's about like Satanist guy who lives in America on 4OD, and I'm getting like strong vibes of like that guy with this guy.
Well,
But
Ghostman says he's not a Satanist, he's something else. It's like a Belenist or something.
A Satanist. He's just
a Lemonist?
No, it's not a lemon.
Every villain.
Full circle.
I just really quickly. I feel like a lot of the attention he gets, and it might be like a vapid old man thing of me saying, I feel like a lot of attention he's getting as well is from very naive, thirsty, like alternative girls. Like, you know, the same kind of girls that were really thirsty for Marilyn Manson back in the day, being like, he's so attractive and stuff, and we're all just like, is he?
Oh.
Like, oh.
Staple of like gothy music since forever, right? Like,
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, even really to a degree, like Robert Smith from The Cure, like girls are like, oh my god, he's so hot, and I'm just like, oh, okay, if that floats your boat,
they like
so I feel like
and pale,
and dying, yeah, apparently,
literally dying.
Shall we pick next week's album?
Yeah, well, we need to roll the dice, I guess.
Oh fuck! Has anyone
We're
got
doing
D4 on them?
Yes, I do.
Go on, roll D4.
You're for special dice.
D4, D4, D4.
D4.
Go on then.
Oh,
Roll that
yeah.
D4.
Kyle, was that?
Wait,
that
give
Smash
us
and
each
Music?
numbers first.
Yeah. So what? Sorry?
Who's what number?
In order, Ben's 1, Zach's 2, I'm 3, you're 4.
Okay.
I'm number 1.
It's 4.
Hey,
Greg.
let's go.
4. And 3. So it's me and Greg.
Kyle and Greg.
Cool.
We're doing singles as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we're back to the normal format for next week.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I already know what I'm gonna pick. I got a little short list of albums that I eventually want to go through. So we got some very angry boy music from Ghostemain this week, but there's another angry boy metal album that came out recently, and I've been meaning to listen to it, and I deliberately haven't because I knew eventually we'd get round to it on here. It is by a band I've shown you guys before, but this is their new album. It only came out a few months ago. The album is called Underneath, and the band is called Code Orange. This shit is like, yeah, it's kind of industrial in the same way as Ghostemain, but a lot more traditionally metal.
Wait, aren't Code Orange like doom metal?
No, they're like kind of hardcore
Like
punk.
hardcore.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard a little bit about them before.
I think
They're
I might
really
be.
Okay.
Is Orange
Alright,
Goblin?
never heard
I
of
don't
them.
know.
Or Orange Goblin are like the
They're
thrash
doom
band.
metal, right? Yeah.
But yeah, Underneath by Code Orange.
Okay.
Okay.
Greg.
That's gonna inform my choice then, because we've had a lot of Angry Boy. I'm gonna go for something completely different, which you may have heard, but I'm not sure you have, because I spoke about it a little while ago. I'm gonna go for Benji Webb's solo album of the Skindred fame.
Didn't even
This
know
is
he had
his.
it.
I think I mentioned it once or twice. This is his. I guess it's a reggae album, but it's kind of reggae, soul-y, singing. You know, very very different to Skindred. It's called "I Haven't Been Nicking in Ages."
I haven't been nicking in ages.
Yeah, as in like stealing.
Stealing.
I haven't been nicking in ages. By Benji Webb.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Singles, boys. Let's go.
Go on, Ben. Go on, Ben.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm in a really silly mood. I want a deep analytical view of this song. Okay, so I want you to get your thinking hats on, and I want some serious work with this one. All right.
Always.
So we are going to review in depth. All right. WAP by Cardi B
Come on,
featuring
man.
Megan Thee Stallion.
No. Fuck you.
I want a
What have I
serious
done?
analytical.
Some kind of
Dude, I'm
Who's
I'm
that?
gonna go full Ben Shapiro on this shit and like.
Yeah, look at
Actually,
the
if you look at it,
You've seen that meme, right?
so figuratively speaking, if I
What-
you as a individual,
Well, because he's like if the vagina is that wet, then you're doing something wrong. Like, and he has like a fucking.
Yeah, you need
wife
to
or
see a
something.
doctor and all the memes.
Yeah.
It's like his wife
Everyone's
is a
like,
guy
Ben Shapiro's wife is dry as fuck.
His
Dry
wife
like
is
his
literally
voice.
a gynecologist, and she's like, "No, it's normal for it to be this dry. I promise."
This is, yeah.
That's
so
gonna be
so,
me on our review of this song. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
You'll be like,
wet
"What
and
do you
pretty.
mean? A bit like a fucking credit card. That's not how that works.
Oh wait, is that credit card song?
Yeah.
It's Wet Ass Pussy by Cardi B or WAP, as a lot of people know it.
Okey
Um,
dokes.
There you
Man.
go.
Fantastic.
Watch
Excellent.
the music
I should probably
video.
watch the
Do yourself
video.
do yourself a favor and watch the music video because that's pretty much yeah.
But
Oh, and please, watch the explicit. Don't watch the because there's two versions. Watch the
Not-
one with the swearings.
Not when your mum's in the room.
No.
No, definitely when your mum's there.
Get the whole family involved.
Come round, I got
Yeah.
a song to play you.
Anyway, Zach, what's
Oh
Oh
yours?
my goodness gracious me. Well, I mentioned it earlier, and I know we've already had them, but this is a single, and it's completely different. I want to do Kissin' Dynamite's Cadillac Maniac featuring the Baseballs, because it's just a fun, silly song, and it's kind of goes by the theme of like genre mashups, and I think it sounds really fun.
Nice.
Nice. I enjoyed Kiss and Dynamite's album that we did before.
This
Yeah,
is
it was
not
good.
very much like the album.
Okay.
Like I said before, it's actually no. I'm gonna. If you've forgotten what I said earlier, I'm not gonna say anything.
I have. So yeah, keep those.
yeah,
keep those.
yeah. I'm gonna keep it stum.
But I tell you what,
Alright.
DNA is still a banger, and I love it every time it comes on my playlist.
It's earworm, that one. All right. Well, so that is the albums are Code Orange, Underneath, Benji Webb, I Haven't Been Nicking in Ages, WAP by fucking Cardi B, and you can hear the disdain in my voice.
What happened to this podcast, man? We used to be good.
Oh no! You
I
know,
did
I made,
about that.
Look. If we're reviewing
broken
Ghostemane and if I have to listen to a whole album of that, then everyone has to
28
suffer
minutes.
through one song of Cardi B.
You know, I originally just pitched
She
this
also has
podcast
trap
to you
elements.
guys so we could share each other's music taste and get each other into like different music. So I'm glad you've done this, Ben.
Here we are.
Well, the Code Orange album is one I've actually been meaning to
Hey,
Yeah, and I genuinely rate Benji Webb, so let's go.
all right, yeah, the last one,
Let's
Kissin'
go.
Dynamite, Cadillac Maniac featuring the Baseballs. Thank you, Tim, for coming on these past few episodes.
Thank you,
I
Tim.
hope you enjoyed it.
It's
Eternal
been an
sympathy.
honour. I
The
I
honour
would
is
just
all ours, my friend.
I would just like to say that I think actually this whole thing has been pretty good for lockdown. People in general being able to listen to different music they wouldn't necessarily heard of. That's not just like our friendship group and me especially, but also we've had other commenters from elsewhere. Even if they're coming along to see you guys liking their bands, it's something. It's like a bit of social interaction which people just aren't getting enough of.
Yeah.
But I think it's really important
Oh.
also that we're listening to a lot of different stuff on here, and people are actually giving it a fair listen rather than being like, no, we're not reviewing that. You will genuinely
Yeah.
review anything and listen to anything. So
Yeah.
it's more reason for people to get in the comments because you don't know what could be next.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And Tim will
In those comments.
definitely be in the comments for the next
I will be
episode.
there. I will be there. Even if it's only me forever, I'll be there if I can.
And Tim will obviously be on
Holding down
in
the comment
future
section.
episodes for sure. Right. If you want to review those albums, and we will read out your comment at the end of next episode.
Did we get any this week? Have we checked?
No, we didn't.
We didn't know. I just checked.
I get all the comments sent to me by email, so
Can't win them all.
I see them as soon as they come in, and we didn't,
Pretty sure
which is fine
it's
because Tim is here and he's the one who's usually does it.
Yeah.
But growing pains. We'll get there eventually. We'll be looking back at these episodes, going, those early episodes laid the foundation.
Hey, man,
I'll be there and I'll be like, I was here from day one. Where were you back when the great CHUB Cast was still on their 10 million subscriber special? Where were you, episode 1, eh? You could be part of this. You get involved early, you could get your name up in lights. Who knows what will happen for that special when it gets
when we're the biggest podcast and we've got Joe Rogan coming on the show, like recommending his album, saying how on it is.
Can't wait
You'll
for
be
that.
there like, I was the OG.
Yeah. Joe Rogan who? Mate, it's all about Tim Briffett.
Right.
Right.
This will be no more.
Reviews, yeah. I said reviews earlier. They will all be in the description and the comment section and all that good stuff. Send on YouTube. Write your review in the comment section, or you can send your review at chubtheband@gmail.com, or use the hashtag CHUBView on our socials. All the socials are down below. All good shit like that. I hope you all enjoyed the episode. Ghostmania, if you're listening, get Netflix to make a documentary about you. No, at least I'd watch it. And if this podcast gave you a chub,
like
and
and
Yeah.